Pepper was going to be the whiskey drinker. You have sent him to bed. John was actually going to take tequila from me. You've sent him to bed. Dr. Bitches was going to take cider from me. You sent him to bed. Congratulations, guys. You knocked out most of my convention. Woo!
I'll do cider. I'll do cider.
You want to do cider? Okay, guys, bear in mind, the reason I'm picking them, it's not against anyone else. I've drank with them, and I know when they finish, they'll be able to get to their rooms. When I get to know you, I'll invite you up to the stage. Fury, get up here, you're cider. This is how this panel works. We're not here just to entertain, we actually want to inform you a little bit. Guys, thank you, I need that cup. Guys, this is alcohol appreciation. Now, some of us up here are drunk. That's not appreciating alcohol. Because you can't appreciate alcohol when you are wasted.
But we can appreciate it.
You can appreciate us being wasted. Alcohol appreciation is the true appreciation of the drink. Because there are shit. The very first drink I ever took, and this is not a joke, and this has been said before, was tequila brand tequila. If you find it, it is in a plastic opaque bottle, and it says the word tequila on the side. That was the first thing I ever drank. I did not start drinking again after that until I was 22, because it was disgusting.
Was this at 7-Eleven, Walgreens?
No, this was next to train tracks with two of my white cake friends. And legitimately, I tried to fuck my best friend's sister because I was drunk off tequila brand tequila. I didn't accept that I liked dick at a young age, okay?
The lesson here is that white people will give you the best alcohol and the worst alcohol.
That's true. That is true. So guys,
You're a white person.
this panel is to try to educate you in certain brands. There's going to be a little bit of audience participation as we go. So we're going to start with the lightest drink. We're going to start with cider. Now, you've just volunteered to be our cider person.
Yes.
Let's start off with just some facts. Cider. Why would you drink that instead of the wonderful things that we have up here?
Because to me, I like to drink delicious things, and I love the taste of cider.
You want
So, simple as that.
No. So good taste. Cider is your tasty drink.
It is my tasty drink, yes.
Who out here started drinking on cider? Is there anyone who had your first drink was cider?
Yes.
All right.
It was
You have no more than 1 minute. Your first drink. Please describe it.
woodchuck. Was one of the first things I ever had. My friends actually invited it. We're like, hey, you gotta try this thing. Give it a shot. I know you've been drinking like vodka this whole time. Try something a little lighter. Try this stuff. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like it. Perfect. It was like had just enough bite to it. Still kind of a cider made out of like apple, something like that. It was local, right around here. Absolutely perfect. It was sweet. Keeps you just on that edge, but still just like a good like, hey, I need a taste.
All right. Why should they drink cider other than the other things up here?
I think cider is a lot easier for a first timer to ingest than pretty much anything you guys have been drinking up here all night.
All right. He is right.
He is absolutely right.
Please introduce your beverage of choice.
Right now it's Diet Coke.
Introduce the beverage of choice that you'll be drinking. Or did you stop drinking for the night?
No, I can continue drinking something at least softer. I'm not going to drink any hard liquor right now.
Yeah, no, don't drink hard liquor.
Yeah. Serious side note, like knowing when you are at your level is very, very important. Very important. And I think everyone learns at a very young age what their level is. And it does increase as you get older, as you get more used to your body. It does. I mean, I'm not trying to, like, yes, I'm a little bit lit right now, but it's true. You know what your level is, you know what you enjoy, and you stop right there. And that's, you know, people talk about the college age drunk, the guy who's puking into the hot tub, or in my case, into the sink, and my poor friend didn't realize the stopper was still in. That was, I felt so bad for that. But you do learn. And I'm a little off topic, but
You are, because you still haven't introduced your drink of choice.
the apple cider.
So yours is cider too.
I love cider.
We got a second cider, so 2 cider aficionados on there.
Well, I love Jim Beam also.
Jim Beam, okay.
We have 3.
Oh, you're second.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
I would be the Jim Beam
No,
guy.
I'm not cider because
Jim
I'll
Beam.
brew
That's
cider.
true.
I'll be
We're
the
gonna get to
Malort
that.
guy. Alkali, if you need a Malort guy.
We're not. No! Who here does not know what Malort is? Raise your hand.
Oh, you haven't
Oh,
lived.
man.
I so want to make you take a shot of Malort.
Yeah, I'll do it.
No, you will not. No, there's a reason. Would you like to describe? Okay, we're gonna let you in on the Chicago joke. Would you describe to them what Malort is?
Malort is a liqueur made with wormwood, the same stuff that absinthe is made of.
What stuff?
There are 2 varieties in the Chicago area. You have Jepson's, which is rot gut and does not taste anything like absinthe. And then you have the Leatherbees, which is much more refined and actually does have a very strong absinthe-like taste.
Which is better.
The Leatherbees I can sip and can enjoy. The Jepsons I love to drink and make other people drink with me because it's funny to watch their facial expressions.
So,
Tastes like dirt.
There's an entire
Yes.
Flickr stream dedicated
So-
to Malort face.
Yes.
just so you understand, see, and this is one of the things you need to understand about bad alcohol. There's 2 kinds. One of them is hard to swallow. You all saw it if you were at the last panel and saw pepper. Everclear is bad alcohol. Everclear was not meant to drink on its own. You shouldn't fucking drink Everclear on its own. It's more of a joke shot than anything else. But when you drink it, you immediately feel like you want to vomit. Now, I don't care how much of an alcoholic you are. I have done things to my body that no mortal man should ever do. And I still want to puke a little bit every time I drink Everclear. It's disgusting.
Alkali. Everclear leaves chemical burns in your esophagus.
That actually explains a lot.
Right.
Now that being said,
You know why that happens, right?
because I'm an idiot.
190 proof.
Right. It's
ethanol.
190 proof. It's evaporating every time it's open. The fumes are escaping through your mouth.
Oh my god. Yeah, we might have killed our artist of honor. Now that being said, there are other drinks.
Don't say we, you.
No, it's your fault.
So I was concerned when I was trying to set up my other panel, and I found a small plastic flask of it already half drinking.
Sorry, I had a really bad night. I had a really bad night a few nights ago. This is Miko, my roommate. He is going to be doing. Have you chosen to do?
Rum.
Okay.
I have
This is our rum expert.
Yeah!
And we have one more chair. We're going to bring up one other person. He has made me some amazing drinks, and he is right there. Come on up.
I got Floofy Tails.
Oh, Floofy Tails!
Yes!
Giant Floofy tails.
I am glad we have platform people up here who are a hell of a lot more qualified than me.
But wine is entirely
Unappreciated.
unappreciated up here. I work at a wine shop.
Wine? You work at a wine shop?
Yeah.
I've never
right
drank
now.
wine. I don't have any wine for you to drink during the panel.
Right there, right there.
So. All right, so here's the thing about Malort. For those of you who have not had it, there's one drink that when you drink it, you immediately want to vomit, and that's the drink. Malort is a whole new kind of hell. Because Malort, the one that he was talking about that's not good, we're alcoholics. Some of us are alcoholics. We can drink anything. We can drink steak. We can drink Everclear when we need it. But when you drink Malort, something happens. Because when you drink Malort, the first thing you think, and I don't think a single person who has drank it, who knows how to drink, has ever not said this. This is what you've been talking about? I could totally go! It's the aftertaste. Malort legitimately ruins everything. It's a Chicago joke drink.
It's a tradition.
It is a Chicago tradition. The first time this gentleman got me to drink Malort, I was like, hey, you want a good drink? Try this. They're like, you're my friend, you would never lie to me, and then I hated it.
So, part of the tradition of Malort is the description of the aftertaste. So, those here that have tasted Malort, I would like your description of the aftertaste.
Well, the description that I heard that I like the best is sawdust and sadness.
So
Okay.
that's Malort.
That's one.
Yeah.
I'll give mine. For me, the best description was a rotten grapefruit filtered through a dirty jockstrap.
That is perfect.
Be careful, because there are people saw you two playing dirty jobs.
Furion actually introduced me to Malort at Anthrocon 2015 last year.
Fury invites
And-
everyone to try Malort.
And being that I like to explain things in really obscure references, what did I say, Furion? I don't remember
I do
exactly.
not remember.
It was ethereal. It was mind blowing.
You said a lot of really
I
interesting
said a lot of
that
things,
night.
and we got to drinking a lot more, and I forgot.
It's a really, really bitter taste.
little
Very
earwaxy,
close to if you've ever
Earwaxy.
just sucked on Tylenol.
I think my favorite one of all
If
time.
you've never-
Do you remember the description I gave you? You start off, hi Fuzzy.
Just get in here already.
fuck in here.
My fucking God.
You start off and you're like, oh, this isn't as bad as anyone said, and then you did. It was John. My friend John took the shot of the Lord and went, fuck you! And it was perfect. That is the taste of the Lord. Fuck you! That is how it tastes. All right, we have, you try it in a room party, not in one of my panel rooms.
You are next.
Oh, I'm going to go with the most polarizing drink. I was introduced to this in a bar when I was so drunk that I couldn't taste it, and then I drank it for the rest of the night. I couldn't talk the next morning, but all I remember was there was a great time. And that is my drink of choice, which is tequila. I will tell you this, how many people out here immediately when I say tequila, like, tequila is the most gross thing on the planet? Who has that feeling? And you can. You totally can. That makes me so happy.
All these people have apparently tried Malort.
You're an ass. Here's the thing about tequila. They say that you can't get a headache, a hangover, if you drink straight tequila. Now, I have never found out if that is true or not, but I will say this. If I just drink straight tequila, so happens that I've never had a hangover. Unfortunately, I usually mix it with something because, half an hour of drinking and then insanity is probably a bad idea. Also, people out there don't like tequila because tequila brand tequila. You guys, Jose Cuervo Gold.
Is not tequila.
Thank you.
Yes.
When you were in college,
Half green.
everybody has a bottle of Jose Tequila Gold. Jose Cuervo Gold.
No.
You have 3 of them in your house.
I'm very aware that I have 3 of them. Hey, when you just need something to mix in the middle of the night because somebody's pissing you off, it's fine.
1800, man. Come on.
I actually
Guys.
don't like 1800.
Guys, it's a basic rule of thumb, and it goes beyond tequila. Like, you want something better, you pay more for it. It doesn't,
Yes.
it's not across the board. There are exceptions to the rule, but if you want something good, you're gonna have to pay for it. If you pay, $15 for a handle of rum, it's gonna be fucking garbage.
Gut rot.
Tequila is a very, it's an expensive liqueur
It is.
to get a hold of
It
because
is.
it's only grown in one small place in the world.
Yes.
Now that being said, if you're going to buy, I will tell you right now, and this is my opinion, right here I'm holding the best bang for your buck. First off, you need to like tequila to enjoy this. This is Cabo Wabo. This is called a Blanco. Blanco just means clear. If you don't like tequila and you're interested in trying it, then you want the gold ones. The gold ones are smoked. The taste on that, the flavor profile is totally different. If you don't like tequila, but you like scotch, you like smoky whiskeys, get the gold one.
You want reposado.
You would be shocked with the taste profile. Cabo Wabo is a great bang for your buck. There's some really expensive ones out there. I really encourage you all to give it another shot. A lot of people gave up on tequila because we all tried tequila in college. We all tried it in grade school if we're assholes like me. Everybody's tried tequila and most of us know that it just tastes like ass. And it does until you get the good one. So I beg you, give tequila another try. And I want you to tell me, if you drink tequila the entire night, straight, maybe a little bit of soda in it, tell me if you ever get that hangover. Because I'll tell you this, I've challenged other people to that. We actually had a party at my house with 6 different people, some of them major lightweights. And at one point, I made out with the wall, while somebody else was making out with the other wall, and then complained that I might have gotten them pregnant. But when we woke up the next morning, we all went to breakfast, and none of us had the hangover. Now, it might have been an isolated incident, but I really wanted to know. If somebody drinks straight tequila for an entire night, tell me if you ever get the hangover, because not a single person has ever told me that. I don't believe it, but the evidence supports it. Tequila, that is a good drink. Now, the 2 gentlemen next to me are cider experts. They made me a carafe of cider for the panel last night, and oh my God, was it delicious. Gentlemen, would you like to talk about cider or your personal preference on drinks?
I will talk about the personal preference. So, what I am drinking here, in particular, is a Canadian whiskey. It is a variation on Crown Royal XO. It is one of the barrels that is used in the mix of Crown Royal XO. There is a wide variation that you are going to get in whiskey. There are rye whiskeys, there are scotches, and even within scotches, you have different territories within Scotland that do their scotches differently, and they have different flavor profiles. And even within manufacturers in the same region, you will have wildly different profiles. Whiskey is one of the probably the hardest one here to describe because you have so many variations.
It really is, I agree with you, because I do enjoy some whiskeys and others are just garbage.
Yes.
And not even the cheap ones, like some are just garbage.
Oh, I agree. And you know, it's a lot of drinking whiskey is finding what flavor profile do you like with whiskeys. And then once you figure that out, then you try other whiskeys that have similar profiles to that. You might like highly scotches. You might like bourbons. And even within bourbons, there are more sweet bourbons and then more...
Yeah.
I know. But I happen to have this with me. This, again, is a Canadian whiskey. They call it a coffee whiskey. I'm not particular on this. Yes. But it is delicious. And apparently this is a one-of-a-kind for autos down the street.
Really? That is wonderful.
Canadian whiskey is very different from even just other kinds of whiskeys. They all do, every variation is different. I love scotches, though not some much more than others. I tend not like the smokiness as much as others. I tend to like a more malty flavor, more sweetness. So whiskey, you really just have to try it and find out what you like for yourself. And since I'm not seeing anyone here with gin, I will spend a little bit of time on that as well.
Let's jump back a little. Who here had their first drink was whiskey? First drink ever. Kidding, your first drink was whiskey? Yeah. You have less than 2 minutes. Tell us your first drink.
I was at a gay bar for a friend's birthday.
You were at a gay bar and your first drink was whiskey?
Yeah, it was a shot of whiskey. And he wanted to get me another one, and I said, if you give me another one, I'll be on the floor.
Did he get you another one?
No.
Okay, you weren't ready.
No, I wasn't.
Who else had their first drink was whiskey? Iggy, your first drink was whiskey?
Well, there were a couple things that were purchased in college, and that was the first one that I remember purchasing.
Whoa. Now you have less than 2 minutes. Your first drink, tell us.
So I really wanted to try what I call 7 and 7, which is 7 and 7. Because I was taking German at the time. So I was attached to it. I love Seagram 7. I thought it was fantastic for cheap college, whatever. I mean, I'm the type of person that likes to make a lot of mixed drinks. Am I like a crazy mixed drink expert? No, but I try to make things that are tasty, and you go for taste, right? It doesn't matter how much the booze costs. So anyway, so I just made 7 and 7s, and it kind of morphed into this thing where I had this drink called 165 because I had to, of course, get other things incorporated. So So
True.
7 plus 7 plus 151 is 165. That card.
Okay, that's awesome.
My
That
friend
is
drinking
awesome.
Mike's Hard Lemonade or some shit, and I thought I was all kind of classy with that. I'd have that and Crown Royal. Had to upgrade, right?
All right, I gotta know, who here in college, because this was really common in the naive, thought they were classy by walking around the frat party with a bottle of wine, just drinking straight from the bottle? Is that anyone? Fuck, I know! I don't know why. Somebody has always done that. It's like, oh yes, you plebeians drinking your rum and cokes.
It was my frat party.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. You look like an asshole.
Oh, I know.
And I can say that because I did that. Are you enjoying your mixed drinks, you faggots? That fan is very obtuse. But it might be an operations. All right, I wanted to get some stories now. You had a gin.
Well, Aaron is going to do gin,
Okay.
so I want to say one last thing about whiskeys. So, even if you try a type of whiskey and you don't try it, you might want to try someone else's. My first Irish whiskey, which I don't even remember what it was awful. It wasn't even bargain bin whiskey. It was, $30 for the bottle, but it was awful. I have found other, much better Irish whiskeys. So, various makers have different flavor profiles, and don't give up on a type of whiskey just because you've tried that type once. Give it a different...
Can I ask you a whiskey question? I have tried whiskeys or scotches or whatever that have a very smoky flavor. And to me, that smoky flavor on my taste buds is always of iodine. Is that just me, or is that generally?
No, that iodine is definitely a part of different whiskey flavors.
Is it specifically from peaty scotches?
It usually is, yes. But you also might want to try other more malty.
That's generally the kind I prefer.
Do you have a whiskey question?
No, but I heard that Alkali is smashed. Is that true?
Alkali is smashed?
Yes, is that true?
You don't know me very well. This is what I do.
So
What
I've
if
been
the
living with him
control
for a
drink is
fairly good amount of time, and right now I'd say he's actually almost sober. He is really close to sober.
Despite having
This
drank
is-
at least 4 bottles worth of 80 proof alcohol
He's a
this
large
last hour.
man.
Thank you. Yeah, like just if you're gonna ask that question, I'm gonna give you the answer. I'm 6'8". I'm a giant fucking fat ass.
And he's
my
Jewish.
lips. And my what?
And he's Jewish.
I'm not Jewish. We don't know if I'm Jewish. We
Look
don't
at
know.
that hair.
I literally, for those of you who don't know, and I'm going to quelch this right now, my literal job at times is to go out with people and drink. That's why I can do this. Guys, don't ever try to do what I do. I've been training for it for years. Fucking stop hurting yourselves by trying to match me. Fucking cut it out.
I will agree, you need to know your own limit.
We talked about that earlier. Let's talk about it one more fucking time. Look, I've made a fool of myself at conventions. Who was here at Anthrocon 2 years ago? Yeah. Somebody gave me a bottle of 151 and toasted me until the bottle was half gone. I found my fucking limit. Is there anyone up here who doesn't have a story about their limit break? Miko, I fucking know you do.
So the origination of this panel was actually at Fur Reality this last time. Basically, we had an empty room. We're like, we kind of want to do an alcohol panel because we wanted to start doing them at NCFC.
Yes.
And we kind of wanted a test run. So we had an empty room, and we're like, grab some bottles of booze. Well, in order to be the rum guy, I had to have a rum. The only rum we had available was Bacardi 151. We didn't really have mixers available. So I started out, and I needed to catch up because everybody else was already filling the trash. I started out with straight 151. Sweet. I don't know, I lasted for a good hour.
Oh, no.
Right into
This-
the panel.
This gentleman over here, he can hold his leg. Actually, I've seen, except for you, which we're gonna fix eventually, I've seen everyone up here. For some reason, us sociopaths can hold our liquor, and that's scary.
I functioning alcoholics.
Now guys, we're going to go to the audience at some point. Start thinking right now. We're going to limit all the stories. We're going to limit them to 2 minutes. Start thinking of that time when you hit your limit. Because that's going to be one of the stories we ask you for. And if you think you have an entertaining story that's under 2 minutes, we're going to ask you those, okay? So start thinking.
I have a confession to make. Being on the Alcohol Appreciation Board, I do not believe, at least knowingly, that I have ever been drunk. I have been buzzed quite a bit at your place.
Yeah, you've been buzzed at my
I
house.
have been buzzed, but I have been never knowingly
Are you
drunk.
telling me that you've never gotten drunk at my house?
I think I am.
I have failed as a ferret.
You have not, because I cut myself off.
Yeah, me and John aren't going to let you do that next time.
So there is a reason for it.
I have a bet.
But I will say, you know, and I'm sure everybody here should know, at least logically, if you are not sure of your limit and want to test, do it with people you trust.
Oh, yes.
Please don't do it by yourself.
People you trust can literally save your lives.
Yes.
That's a problem.
Yeah, guys, don't do that. Never drink on your own. Like, I'm gonna just say it flat out. Look,
If you do buy it by yourself, or do it by yourself, do it at a convention because you will wake up with a lot more friends that you didn't even know, and you still remember. And that's Fursquared 2014.
And have condoms in both pockets just in case.
oh my God!
The term whiskey dick comes around for a reason.
Yes.
All right. You had something else.
One last thing on the drinking too much is, or being able to hold your liquor is taking it slow. Know how fast you can drink to keep yourself, or learn how fast you can drink to keep yourself in a nice buzz state.
And for the love of God, eat something.
Oh my God!
I actually have a story how that backfired on me, which I will tell later during
we'll get to
sessions.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, and we didn't know this as it happened. If you were in here for the last panel, right after our artist of honor did that shot, that's when he told me he hadn't eaten since noon. I was still So for those of you wondering how that happened like that, look, there's your warning.
Right.
Look,
I don't know how many of you just saw him try to stumble in here in fursuit and stumble back out, but he literally just did that 5 minutes ago.
It just gets worse. Guys, look.
He's over there.
It's fun to drink. It really is. I'm never going to tell you it's not fun, because it is. You lose that little bit of control. For some people, it helps them get up on stage. I needed it the first few times. But I'm also going to say, when you hit that limit, it's not fun. And it's really not fun the next morning, so don't get there. We're all fairly intelligent individuals, except for you, Iggy. So, just, you're drinking to have fun. So why don't you enhance your fun? Do it responsibly.
Yes.
The water thing totally helps.
Yes.
It totally works. It's such a simple trick. What's up?
It also helps with hangover.
It does help with hangover. I'll be honest with you. Tomorrow,
Easiest way to avoid a hangover is 1 glass of water for every drink you have.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
yeah.
And give it at least an hour to go through your system.
If you swam an entire bottle of anything in one sitting, also drink a pitcher of water.
It comes down to you want to stay hydrated. That's what alcohol does. Dehydrates you. That's what causes it.
Back off
If
the
you
ABV.
drink water when you're done, once you're done drinking alcohol, drink water. You do that.
Say in my case, in college, I hadn't
hydrates.
really figured out what I liked yet, but I knew that Jaeger worked and it wouldn't make me barf. So one hand,
Fucking
full
Jaeger.
full drinking glass of Jaeger. Other hand, full drinking glass of water.
There you go.
Sip of Jaeger,
There you go.
water. Sip of Jaeger, sip of water.
Just real quick though,
Yes.
who's the comedian with the Jaeger commercials and the
That is Dave Attell.
right and oh dear God.
Oh dear, I never knew that. Yeah, I don't know if that's
Sandra brought that
real.
up to me last time. That I never saw that.
Did you guys know that? I don't know if it's real or if somebody just noticed that. Does anyone know what we're talking about? Oh dear God. The Jaeger symbol is a circle, a deer with a little cross over it. Oh dear God. We never, like, somebody told that to me, I was blown away. Dave Attell used to do a stand-up routine where he would walk up on stage and do Jaeger commercials. And some of them were basically our lives. I'm gonna try to remember one. You're walking down an abandoned alleyway. You see a pumpkin on a doorstep. If he didn't want me to fuck it in the eye, he shouldn't have been smiling at me, Jaeger. You're walking down the street. A hooker lies dead in the bushes. Her red shoe lays outside of it. You fill it with a pineapple and a little bit of a blue liquid that once soaked combs. Drink up, fucker, Jaeger.
They are a call girl until they are dead.
No, Huskoon. When they're dead, they're called hookers.
All right, let us move on to gin.
Yes, gin. Gin. There's a polarizing one. Is that gin?
Well, so I've got two here. So you do cordials plus gins.
Ooh, go for it.
So this is a gin drink I made up. So there's New Amsterdam gin back there, so I use that because that's the only gin. But that's my usual go-to drink is gin and something else. I've got 6 or 7 different gins. They're kind of making a huge comeback now.
Yeah.
Gin's basically what a lot of distilleries make when they can't make vodka because it requires too many distilling processes. So to cover up the impurities, they'll throw in botanicals instead, which is also what they used to do back then for that as well. Yeah, that's why it tastes like pine trees. That's why there's like 30-something botanicals in some of the gins that I have. Others have only 4 because they distill it more and make it delicious.
Didn't I once see you take a shot of gin and then look at me and go, oh, Christmas?
Yeah.
Why juniper pine in particular?
So in terms of gins, there's also different variations of gins. There's the one that you've probably seen at every bar that you've been to. If they've got it well, it's probably Bombay or Beefeater or something like that. That particular style of gin is called London Dry Gin, even though it's actually not made in London. It's actually mostly made in Scotland. So there's another version of it that's older called Plymouth Gin. So you may see like newer Plymouth gins popping up now. And there's one other variation I can't remember off the top of my head, but this one I believe is a London Dry Gin. That's New Amsterdam gin, I think, which is not bad. I mixed it because gin in general mixes very, very well if you're going to mix it with anything, anything floral or citrusy. So lemon, lime, orange, not so much. It's a little bit too much. So anything like super bright citrusies, like that's why I usually see like gin and tonics are gin tonic with a little squeeze of lime. So
Gin and tonic is fantastic.
Yeah, gin and tonics are like the go-to drink. So.
That might be totally weird here, but actually, gin and orange juice is one of my favorites.
Gin and juice? There's songs about that.
Yeah. One thing that I tried personally, because I hated gin whenever, the first time I tried it, couldn't stomach it. But then a friend introduced me to what we call a salty dog, which is gin and grapefruit juice. And that was
it's
delicious.
like super bright and citrusy will pair with gin because gin is generally very floral because of all the botanicals that are thrown into it. So if you're going to mix it with anything, just find lemonade works really well too. So yeah, and you won't even really know the gin is in there because you're going to enough of a mix. You'll be like, this is lemonade, and it's not. Yeah, there's that much gin in this drink right now, and we couldn't tell.
Right. No, I could have told you there might have been maybe a shot in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, out of all the drinks, gin is the easiest to mask. I think you're right.
Yeah, with citrusy stuff because the acidity covers up a lot of everything that's in there. So.
And again, if you're going with less citrusy stuff, if you're going with like drinking straight gin, well, keep drinking it neat, or even just a gin and tonic, as we've said with all of the others, the more you pay for it in general, not always,
True.
but the more you pay for it in general, the better it tends to be. We have probably 8 different varieties of gin at home.
Now we do,
Again,
so I remember the other one was too. Now just
I will say that about half of those are from one distiller.
Yes.
Which
I
is
love them and they're from Chicago.
Leatherby in Chicago. They have their own regular gin, and they also do 2 different seasonals every year for spring and fall. Every one is completely different flavors. They're amazing, but that's just, we love those. That's why half of our gin is left to be gin. But, you know, I hate Bombay Sapphire. It is awful.
I literally just got done telling him that.
Yeah, you just told me Bombay Sapphire.
For me, so again, this goes back to what your taste buds like.
Is this true?
I hate Bombay Sapphire.
Okay, wait, does anybody like 1800? Because I will tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, no, he's right, and I understand. A lot of people, somebody
Because that
gave
was
me
my
a bottle
first-
of 1800. They're like, oh my God, here's a tequila that you're gonna fucking love. I'm like, this is shit. I couldn't drink it. It was terrible.
It wasn't until I lived with you that I could drink tequila. Go on about your hatred of my favorites.
I just, I don't know what it is, exactly is about the flavor profile. It's probably a bit too heavy in some of the botanicals.
It's probably the botanical mix, which is why so many gin varieties exist. And the one I'd forgotten about as far as another style is called Old Top Gin, if you've ever heard of that. It's basically gin that has been made, but then it is thrown into barrels and aged. Most of them are in bourbon barrels. So it actually gets this really dark hue out of it, but it still has all the same characteristics of gin, but they've been mellowed out a lot because it's pulled in the sweetness of the bourbon themselves. So usually they throw them in with like a little bit of leftover bourbon, so they get this nice little sweetness to
Something
it.
a bit more obscure. What is sloe gin? SLOE.
Oh, that's kind of gin if you turn it more into a cordial. So if you added more sugar, which would, I guess, let me talk about cordials afterwards.
Really quick, before we go to cordials, guys, whose first drink was gin?
Liars.
Who?
Oh, go on.
And
Wow.
actually, I want to know two for those who raised their hand. Were you warned about gin beforehand? As in, like, that is the shittiest drink to have.
All right, you have no more than 2 minutes. Tell me about your first drink that was gin.
I was in celebration of my 21st birthday, because I was the last of my friends to turn 20.
Okay.
And we had all gone down, well, a small group of us gone down, and asked the 5 of them to pick a drink that they thought I would like. And each of them picked one, so I had my 5 set out in front of me. And I decided to start with the gin tonic, because despite one of my friends loudly yelling, "You're going to be biting into a pine sol, you're going to be biting into a pine sol," I trusted the other one's taste better. And I absolutely loved it. Of the 5 drinks I had that night, it was my favorite, and it became my go-to drink.
I want to comment on that real quick.
Sure.
So, gin and tonic is going to be also a controversial drink, no matter what gin you use with it, because the quinine, which is used in the tonic water, is a very controversial flavor. It is very, so for my taste buds, it is very bitter.
Yeah.
And unless there's a lot of sugar or other sweetener in it, and the gin that I'm using is also of a sweet botanical variety, I hate gin and tonics.
Really? I didn't know you hated gin and tonics.
I'm not a huge fan of hugely bitter flavors.
So you eat some Malort.
Yes.
I've
I've gotten used to Malort, but I've taken a lot of shots of Malort.
So
Yeah, you guys are assholes.
Who are the other hands up for stories?
Yeah.
You had a gin story?
Yeah, but see, mine's pretty simple. You know Tanqueray gin or Seagram's lime gin?
Yeah.
Okay. I tasted them straight. I didn't like them. Mellowed them out with pink lemonade, or in the case of the lime gin, the best mix I ever had with that would be, ever had cranberry apple juice, and it's bitter on the cranberry?
Yes.
You would take the lime gin and smooth out the cranberry and it sweetens up the apple.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's clever. I like that.
Yeah.
Otter, I know that gin is one of your favorite drinks.
It is my favorite.
Yeah, I still am so angry at you that Seagram's is your gin of choice. You're in college and I understand.
I like Bombay better, but the Walmart, or actually more recently the new Meyer, the fancy swanky Meyer that opened up in the middle of cornfield, you can get a 1.75 liter gin for $12 if it's Seagram's.
As
It's
a
45 if
poor
it's
college student, we understand. But that doesn't mean we're not judging you silently. That being said,
My sophomore year.
No,
My sophomore year.
your first drink was your sophomore year?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Shut up.
My freshman year, my roommate is take the most stereotypical frat boy and the most stereotypical gay guy and combine them. I had to stay up and make sure he didn't die.
So aside from being the most stereotypical combination of a frat boy and a faggot, even though
Also, he was Mexican.
You can say it.
It's okay, we can say it, we suck dick.
No, but
yeah, but I do it better than you do.
technically,
Oh,
I tasted it.
okay.
But the first time I got into drinking it was my sophomore year, and I don't remember if my first drink was hard cider, rum chata, or gin, but gin was the one that I remember the most. I'm gonna go with that. Basically, it was really shitty. It was Seagram's, and he said, and the guy who was giving it to me said, "Here, try this." And
That's how I got
he said I'll put it in something for you because it's a little strong, and he mixed it with Diet Coke. Gin and Diet Coke is actually surprisingly good if you get the right mixture of Diet Coke. It's just my thing.
I don't believe you, but keep going.
Anyway, it tasted green, which was delicious.
It tasted green is not a flavor.
It's like purple is a flavor.
So
Wait,
this
hold on. Do you have an herbal drink? I have a diet herbal. Ooh, diet herbal?
I actually hated it at first because it just tasted so weird.
He made you love it.
So
And then, now I drink it straight, and I drink basically a third of a bottle a night.
No, and I know that, and you're an idiot. I love you.
I'm going to defend a college student.
You defend the college student.
Because a lot of people, they get their first taste of booze in college.
True.
You move away from your parents, because that happened to me. I moved away from my parents. I get my first taste of booze, and usually it is garbage.
Yep.
It's stuff like Keystone Light,
Tequila.
freaking tequila, Pabst Blue Ribbon. Okay. I know Wisconsin loves Pabst Blue Ribbon. You guys are fucking morons if you think the Pabst Blue Ribbon is good. No, it's garbage. It is absolute garbage. And so I forgive him for that being.
I can accept that.
And you learn.
You do learn. Yeah, guys, if you know nothing about alcohol, even if you take nothing away from this panel, if you're gonna drink, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, it's like anything else.
you learn, or part of it is experiment. Because even if you don't the first time you try gin, you don't like it, try a different one. Because your flavor is going to be different with it.
I tried it without mixing it with Diet Coke.
So I do want to comment on your tasting like green, because I
love the line.
So one of my former bosses with Leatherby Gin.
Tastes like blue.
The first, you know this story. The first time we tried Leatherby Gin, this was his comment on how it tasted.
Oh, yes.
It tasted like drinking out of a flower's asshole.
Yeah, he actually said it very nonchalantly, like off the cuff. Yeah, it tastes like drinking his flower's asshole. And I just spat out.
Another, please.
Say, yeah. But again, that's where like all the
That
different varieties
is
come
awesome.
I guess to plug like a local-ish gin, because we're up here in the wonderful state of Wisconsin where my liver goes to die sometimes, is Death's Door gin.
Oh.
It's amazing. The unique thing about that gin is it's only for botanicals, so it's probably the simplest gin you'll find on the shelf. They also very uniquely grow their own juniper berries. Apparently there's only 2 sources in the entire world where juniper comes from. They are the 3rd source, and it's exclusive to them.
So when it's not used for tea, it's used for gin.
Yes. So they make it for their own gin. It's actually very, very nice. It's locally made here. So, well, not like here in this part of the state, but it's made in Death's Door Passage, Washington. So definitely try that gin.
All right, so that's gin.
Yep.
You're going over to cordial?
Yeah, cordials.
All right, let's narrow it down because I do want to get to the other 2 people. We have a few stories to tell.
So
no, we're all,
I've got
we're all very
Wikipedia
interested in alcohol.
Yeah. Let's see.
We like it.
Cordial, according to Wikipedia, cordial means a concentrated non-alcoholic fruit syrup that is diluted to taste and consumed as a non-carbonated soft drink in Germany and Scandinavia. Schnapps is also another variation of such. We generally, like if you go into a liquor store, even like the one that's down the street over here, they have a cordial section, and you're going to find things like triple sec.
If you can feel it coat your throat.
Yes, lots and lots of sugar, but it's containing alcohol, generally lower alcohol by volume for those. This one contains one of my favorites, Midori, which is why it's so green. So if your favorite color is green, definitely stick to Midori. It's a mellow liqueur. And one of the easiest drinks to make with that is you add sour mix in, and you got a Midori sour. And if you want to make it really light and fizzy and get you drunk faster, that's also another pro tip on drinking. Anything you make fizzy will get you drunk faster because the carbonation will actually cause your bloodstream to absorb it faster. So if you want to get drunk quicker, do that. But
That explains
otherwise,
so
no.
much.
Yes. So a little bit of science there. Yeah.
And you're good to go.
Yes, but it also lightens up the drink too. So if you want to make it really fizzy, either throw in like club soda or 7-Up or something like that, whatever would pair with it. But yeah, it's like this, along with many other cordials. You probably had a cocktail that included triple sec. So like if you have a Cosmo, it's one of my favorites. It includes triple sec.
And there are a lot of cordials, and there are a lot of makers of different cordials. And you will get different flavor profiles from different
There's
manufacturers.
so many because it's all sugar, and sugar tastes delicious.
So is that like a rectangle square thing? Is like all cordials are liqueurs, or?
Yeah, a lot of people, there's like some weird, because it's also like something that's really close to that too is like malt liquor, because you're making it straight up from sugar. And it's also, they leave a lot of the sugar in the process. They're just creating a little bit of alcohol from it. So.
Segues.
Yes.
Sugar.
Right. Sugar.
Bingo.
And so,
On to the next thing.
Rum. It's made of sugar.
Rum is absolutely my drink of choice. And now I am drinking this fantastic plantation rum from Barbados that this lovely gentleman, whose name I couldn't pronounce because I couldn't read, Arshin, provided. Boy, this is tasty. Aged 5 years, and I'm assuming like a bourbon barrel or something. Oh, it's fantastic.
It is actually
I'm so impressed.
virgin white oak.
So, looking at the
You
crowd.
can taste the virginity. Yeah.
A little bit of what?
Yeah, just a hint, tinge.
Anyway, that was
Yeah.
Looking at this crowd, there's some young faces, some old faces. I personally feel like rum is for everyone.
It is.
Yeah.
Different kinds, kind of like with the scotch and the whiskeys.
Right.
There's a lot of
There's rum from all sorts of different areas. If you get it from certain areas, you're going to be paying more than my student loans currently. And if you get it from other areas, you're going to be, well, that guy that I saw in the liquor store today that bought the cheapest rum I have ever seen and started drinking it as soon as he walked out the door.
Oh.
Not impressive. But that
Miko,
being
man.
said, it actually had 35% alcohol.
Do you remember the bottle? We only found it once. It was made with pure cane sugar, and it was a local Chicago brewery. Do you remember what that rum was? We only ever found the bottle once.
Wasn't that John? Maybe was that the one he brought over? The one with the rope on the top?
Yes! Not Mount Gay.
No.
Oh, that is tasty stuff.
Mount Gay. We bought Mount Gay. Yeah, we're like, aha, fucking funny, gay. Like, damn, this is good rum. I'd suck its cock.
I have an 18-year-old in my room.
You have an 18-year-old rum in your room?
Hey,
Guys,
they're
what are you
illegal. They're illegal.
Do you remember what it was called, Miko?
No, I actually don't.
All right, ask us tomorrow. I'll look it up tonight. There is a rare rum. It's hard to find, but if you can find it, it's made from pure sugar cane. And we're like, oh, I bet you this will... It was unlike any... I remember it being just leaps and bounds better.
And there's like so many... Oh, goodness, thank you. Oh, that's not for me. Right.
What is this?
It's good. Just drink it.
Just drink it.
I want to try this
Just
as
drink
well.
it. It's
Oh,
super
that's...
tasty.
If any of you have the opportunity to go to the Caribbean, it is stereotypical, but the rums there are incredibly delicious. And you can usually barter and get them down.
Oh,
cheap
that's
prices.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's the
And you can make them out of anything.
Have you tried that down there?
You can make them out of
Oh my
white
God.
sugars, brown sugars, fruits.
That's good, I'll take it.
But
Anything sweet.
right, right. Anything sweet, and it's all fermented stuff. Unlike all of these guys, I'm not super researched because I feel like I'm the youngest person here. And
I love that you had to look.
I didn't know who was past a year too tall.
So, can I come in?
Yeah.
Most rums tend to be sugarcane.
Yes.
And so you remind me because I have the 18-year-old aged rum in my room, which I bought last night.
See you later.
Right, no, that's a very awkward statement, but go on.
I have the 18-year-old in my room.
I should have mentioned this when I was on whiskeys. Aging.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I do that with rum too, so probably everything
Yes.
applies.
So this is most common with whiskeys, but it is very common with rums as well.
Absolutely. Tequilas too.
And tequilas, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Usually aging means leaving it in some sort of barrel for a certain period of time to let the flavors both mellow and as well as absorb the flavors from whatever it's put into. So, like, what my favorite types of whiskeys, my absolute favorites, tend to be aged in sherry barrels.
Those are good.
Yeah, and when he talks about wine, you'll hear about cherries. Those are amazing. Also, barrel aging cocktails is another thing that's sort of
Getting bigger now.
Yeah, it's getting bigger now. There's even companies that sell little kits of mini wooden barrels that you can pour like a full cocktail in and just let it sit for about 6 months. Oh yeah.
Wow.
It really, some cocktails it really works for because that flavor change and then the mellowing kind of changes the character entirely of a cocktail.
So
Try it once. So.
the longer something,
Yeah, it is. And I can't wait that long.
the longer something ages, the more mellow the flavor gets, or the flavor changes as well. But usually it's more of a mellow flavor.
You're gonna get flavors of
Whatever it's-
toasted marshmallow, caramel,
Dragon's milk, I think,
sometimes
is aged.
like vanilla.
Yeah, it's aged.
Usually and vanilla and sugar, you know, they go hand in hand
There's the
like
cider
buddies.
that's aged in those barrels.
So the other thing is, if you're getting something cask strength, the longer it takes in the aging, the lower ABV it's going to be. Like if you see something ABV 40%, that means water's been added to it.
Usually,
Yeah.
or it's a very, very long aged barrel.
Yes.
Can Jim show me? He'll remember better than me. I was drunk.
There's another really interesting thing with aging in barrels is you can get kind of a cross-pollination of different alcohols. For example, one of the tequilas that I believe I introduced him to
You motherfucker.
was a tequila that was aged, and I think it was bourbon again, aged in bourbon barrels.
Yes.
So it imparted a really nice, light, smoky bourbon flavor
Probably my favorite
to the tequila, and it's absolutely delicious.
It's called 1914. It is a tequila. Benny's carries it. It's in a wooden box. The bottle is beautiful. The carrying case is beautiful. And for what you're getting, it's expensive, but it's not break the bank expensive. If you've got the cash and you really want to like tequila, buy the box, and if you don't like tequila, impress your friends by making them like it. If you don't like the taste, you're not going to like the taste. I have introduced that to entire convention chairs, and I'd say only 1 in 5 come back to me and it's like, yeah, I just don't like tequila, and that's fine. The rest of them are blown away by what they're drinking, because they refuse to believe that this is the tequila that they hated so much. I actually have a bottle upstairs, which will be brought down to Three-Headed Monster tomorrow night. 1914, yeah, the box
Oh
tequila.
my God.
Yeah, isn't that how I got you drinking tequila?
It
Or
wasn't
wasn't
that one, it
this?
was actually Cabo
It was
Wabo.
Cabo,
It
okay.
was Cabo Wabo that I started on. I started out with 1800, and that was
Oh.
the worst thing that I've ever done. I vowed to never drink tequila again until I was incredibly drunk, and they're like, let's do shots. And I'm like, okay, let's do shots. And then they handed me a lime and poured salt in my hand, and I'm like, what is this? And then they gave me tequila.
Oh.
That, and it was really good.
When we're done with our part, remind me how to tell you to do a proper salt lime tequila shot. Miko, do you have anything else on rum?
I'll add one thing onto rum. Rum is made from sugar.
Lots of it.
A big and very, very classic mixture is rum and Coke. Coke containing caffeine. Caffeine and sugar and alcohol all together makes this trifecta of nuclear power that was introduced to me by Zen right here, actually.
Every game night.
Be very careful when you're doing rum and cokes because you get faster.
I have a rum question.
The other problem with that is that it's all sugar.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
You will
so,
burn
unlike
out
tequila,
rapidly.
right, you will burn out, and in the mornings you will be dehydrated. You will absolutely be dehydrated if you only drink that.
Drink double the water when you do rum and coke.
Right. So 1 pitcher of rum to 3 pitchers of water.
Does anybody up here know if it is legal to buy or sell overproofed rum in the United States?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I found a really nice bottle in Jamaica, and I wasn't sure because I've never seen it here before.
You can totally get overproof here.
You can get it.
Depends on the state.
Okay.
Well, at least I know in Chicago they carry overproof, which is pretty much a national thing. And like overproof and daiquiris and all that stuff are just amazing. It's also it'll get you blitzed really fast. So be very careful with overproof rum. It is that, but almost twice the strength.
All right.
Yeah, so tasty.
So we're going to go over to our final panelists, and then we're going to start going through stories from you guys.
Can I redo this letter? Because I didn't give it justice when he's done.
Well, yeah, when he's done. That being said, wine is such a large topic. I'm going to ask you to keep it to just a few minutes because we could literally have an entire panel.
I will try.
Again, on whiskey as well.
Actually, all of us, but I know wine because it's so broad. Try to keep it to just a few minutes.
Fucking massive.
What about
Okay.
brandy?
I can do
Brandy brings
Brandy's,
it.
cognacs. Yes.
Trying to fit wine into a short conversation is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Wine is made everywhere in the world in practically every country. Every location has its own wine wherever you go. I hate that a lot of the times most people's first interaction with wine is a very negative one because they'll go to like Applebee's or Olive Garden and they'll say, "Oh, I've never tried wine before. Let me try this one. It sounds interesting." And they'll be poured like a glass of Italian wine.
You know,
Italian
the first
wine.
wine I ever liked was from Olive Garden.
That's
Because I told them I liked sweeter things. So
okay.
they
I'll get
pre-made.
to that. Most people are going to start out with a red wine, which is regularly a fair bit drier than some white wines, and they'll be hit with the tannins and the acidity. And if they're like an Olive Garden or something, they'll get like a Nebbiolo, which is the absolute worst thing you ever want to try if you're first starting out on wine. There is a method to getting into wine that I've found absolutely fail-proof, and I know that people who enjoy wine will groan a little bit. Start out at just the basic, sweetest shit you can find. The bare bones Moscatos.
Yep.
Moscatos
Absolutely, that's where I
or a
started.
very sweet German Riesling, Pacific Rim sweet Riesling, right? Okay. We got reverse demeanors are okay. I don't like the acidity in them, but that's whatever. I started out with Moscatos and said, okay, I can deal with this. Red wines are a bit of a jump. You really want to work your way up through white wines first if you want to get into wines. Even if you want to jump over to reds, start with your whites. Chardonnays I find to be fun because they can be soft. They can have flavors of oakiness and butter and caramel at some points if they're aged really well.
Obnoxiously dry.
Or obnoxiously dry and acidic and just turn you off entirely. The first red wine I ever found that I liked was by J. Lohr. The way I could describe it was a peppered steak. It was big and meaty, and yeah, you know.
I love those ones.
Yes. This is a guy who jumped into wine just blind. But they're the soft ones like Apothic, 1883 Gen 1. Those really soft, mellow Merlot and Zinfandel based ones that are just going to be super soft and easy on the palate, low tannin, low acidity, and you try those, work your way up, experiment, start slow, go to wine tastings. Wine tastings are how
guys.
I learned to love bigger and bolder wines. And
Who has a Cooper's Hawk near them? Who knows what a
I
Cooper's
just
Hawk
started
is?
going. There's one up here.
There's one up
There's
here?
one across
Okay,
the street as
look,
well. Right.
fine. It blew my mind how easy it is. It's a chain called Cooper's Hawk, and they have a wine bar in there. And for amount of money, I mean, it's basically the same as a fucking bus trip. It blew our minds. They'll give you 6 or 7 tastings of wine. And I thought, oh, taste. No, like seriously, Cooper's Hawk. It was like, what was it, Nico? $12?
I want to say it was 15.
Sure, it's under $20.
Ridiculous.
You will get stuck. Like, they will fuck with you.
We were going to dinner after the fact. We had, what was it? We tried 6 different, half cups of wine. And we were tipsy before we got to the table, and then we each ordered a flight of wine.
I can relate with people who want to get into beer. That wine and beer both.
You have to live in Wisconsin.
They're twins. They start out at a certain kind of level, so that you can slowly learn to appreciate IPAs and really bitter stuff. With wines, it's learning to appreciate more tannic things and more acidic and more interesting stuff. One of my favorite experiences I ever had was with a bone dry Riesling out of Oregon. The winemaker came to the shop I was managing, and he said, "You like Riesling? I love Riesling. It's what I started out with. Try this. 0 sugar. No sugar whatsoever." Curious. He poured me a small sample. Smelled like diesel. The flavor, I blacked out for a moment. It was like sour oranges and pool vinyl. You may say gross. You may say gross.
But have you ever licked a pool before?
If you haven't, I suggest it. No.
Have enough of this, and you will be licking.
When you have established yourself in all the weird things that wine can do, you really start to appreciate these really strange things, because not everything is going to taste like rotten raspberries and alcohol. You really discover some beautiful things. Roses and like tar smells in Italian Barolos, or flowers and like sweet oranges in like a German Trockenbeerenauschlese.
And at that point, I think I'm going to have to stop.
Yeah, it's just.
I have a thing.
You know, there's you can go on all night.
I could go on for days.
What do you have?
Solid.
For people that live in Wisconsin or states close to Wisconsin and also Michigan, you also have another very good thing going for you in that there are a lot of wineries that make wines that are cheap. Number one, taste delicious, but they're made from local fruits. Apples, blackberries, blueberries, peaches. If you have a chance, Door County, Wisconsin has a lot of these places. And one of the ones I went to, they didn't even charge you to go up to the bar to taste samples. You could get shit-faced on free samples.
I love it when that happens.
And it's just, you buy a bottle of wine, bigger than this, it's delicious, and it's $9. So you do not have to pay $30, $40, $60 at all.
Now,
to
Furia,
get good.
I'm a purist. I only believe that wine is made from grapes. And there is an attitude, yes, triggered,
Yes.
right?
Triggered.
I see you triggered over there.
Triggered.
We're
Taking this from
we're
you.
open-minded. Open-minded about things.
My opinion is like, so we make our own cider, which we've mentioned briefly before. Our cider tends to be of a high enough ABV that it could be called an apple wine.
Close to it, yeah. If it's above 11%, it's called an apple wine. We're just shy of that.
And so that's what you're getting towards, is regular wine is grapes, whereas if it's something else, it's apple wine or something else.
Okay, so Alkali, if I can, you just mentioned something higher ABV. For people who like sweet things, and if you do start to like these sweet things and you want to go a little bit further without going over to the dry side, ports. Tawny ports, ruby ports, white ports even, which I haven't even gotten into, are a good side step before you move into something different. Because with port wines, depending on how old they are, you get flavors of butterscotch and English toffee and walnuts and hazelnuts and just these beautiful candied flavors when you get the 10 and 20-year-old. And they're more expensive, but you can get a 20-year-old port for around $50. Go in on it with like 5 or 6 friends. 8 or 10 bucks. Sherries, very similar. You've got sherries, Madeiras, ports, a myriad. Say what? Yeah, just a myriad of other things made in Western Europe. That Tokaji's out of Hungary. Things that are made with like either late picked grapes, so they contain a lot of sugar, or stuff that's fermented a little bit in sherry or what is added to brain alcohol?
Blood.
Yeah. Other spirits are added to stop the fermentation and add sweetness and age it, and for a really long time, so you get almost a spirit-like wine. And sometimes that's even a segue into other spirits. And
Which
so,
is where I'm going to stop you at the segue.
Right, yeah. There's 8 million
someday
branches.
we're going to do just a wine panel, and that'll be the topic, because we could do this entire panel just on wine.
I could go on for hours by that.
So what?
The guys from Cooper Hawk and bullshit.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get your boyfriend from Cooper's Hawk.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
That's also a wine you used to make martinis.
Yes,
David.
One last tiny thing. Vermouth.
Yeah.
Vermouth. Oh boy, vermouth.
We're talking like since we're already in the fortified
Make
wine
it quick, because I want the audience
Very
to tell
quick.
us their stories.
Yes.
Not this vermouth, but there are very
There are very good
Very
vermouths.
good.
That's
beautiful vermouth.
Make it very quick. This is it. Vermouth.
Oh.
Go
No,
ahead.
you go. I brought that up because, that's the other category of wine. Because
Don't ever drink this. If you want vermouth, there are other good vermouths out there.
Well,
Ask an
you can
expert.
cook with that, but also you can make.
Oh yeah, you
martinis
can totally
with
cook.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what I want to do now.
What is this thing that I can't see through?
That is rum and coke. Guys, all of you had a first experience. First experience being drunk. We're going to limit it because we want everyone to go. We're going to limit everything to 1 minute. In 1 minute or less, if you would like to tell us the story of the first time you got drunk, and I know that most of them are more than 1 minute, but knock it down to 1 minute. I'll have the timer going here. If you would like us to tell the story of the first time you were drunk, raise your hand. Green shirt, you have 1 minute. Go.
This was about, I think, 8 months ago. Yeah. Okay, good. And I drank I think it was like 2/3 left of my Bacardi rum Gold that I had.
That was a bad idea.
It was not good. And my cousin who lives with me came home and was like, "What are you doing on the sofa?" And I'm like, "I don't remember how to move my arms and legs anymore. All I know is I'm here and there's red sheet next to me." Which we ended up finding out wasn't red sheet, just wood. It was burnt wood somewhere.
All right, drunk folks, first time you were drunk, raise your hand. Zen Fox, you have 1 minute. Go.
I was in the Navy, I hit my first port, and I just turned 21.
Oh!
Went to a bar. Now, I can't remember all the drinks I had. This is all in about an hour. But it was 10 different drinks. It was Jack and Coke, Alabama Slammer, Mind Eraser, something called Frozen Acid, 3 of those.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was to the point where I was literally blacking out and coming to. Then this is the part where it leads to bad decisions.
30 seconds.
Okay, so the next thing I knew, was stripped her out my ear. Next thing I know, about 2 minutes later, she had black and blue ass.
Jesus!
That was the perfect story.
I ended up sitting there, third person view in the bathroom. Somebody threw me in the bathroom, and I'm just, cool! I woke up the next day feeling fantastic.
Yo, that's called the Navy. First time being drunk, raise your hand. In the back, right there. 1 minute, go.
All right, so I was 11. And
Whoa! Great story.
So I'm at my aunt's wedding, and my brother was 6, 7 years older than me, and absolutely fucking scoundrel. So he's just going around collecting like the not used like champagne glasses, and just handing it to me. Be like, here, this guy's gonna drink this. Just like over and over. So I'm 11 and I'm shit-faced. And so my parents are like, okay, we need to listen because my 11-year-old son's drunk. And so he's also drunk, and we're both sitting in the back seat, and we're on the way back, and we both like roll down the windows and end up just like barking at each other, like over
And that's
the
how you became a furry.
And that's how I like here. And so we ended up barking at each other like over the top of this car going down the freeway. And so finally, like my mom just like reaches in the back and pulls me and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
10 seconds.
And I look at her and I say, "We're just doing doggy style."
One minute exactly. Out of your first time being drunk, go.
First time I was drunk was on gin. No surprise there. I was just listening to. I was drinking alone because I was sad. And so I listened to the Dragon Show. First time I was blackout drunk is a much better story. I drank about a liter of gin in a night. Went on drunk adventures around campus. Ended up hitting on a straight guy, complimenting a few lesbians on their tits. Lost my wallet. Passed out drunk on the couch in my room. Woke up, went to the kitchen, laid on the floor, and just dropped frosted mini wheats into my mouth, trying to eat them because I knew I needed to eat something. I fell asleep on the floor for about an hour, and then I stumbled to bed and wake up without a hangover.
First time being drunk, who wants to tell a story? Raise your hand. Go. 1 minute.
So, a couple of my friends and I have been out drinking for a while, and one of them had been making fun of me because I drink slow. So we switched venues to a place called the Bluebird, where we got the Dirty Birds, the biggest, nastiest drinks that they have there.
I know that place.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had made my way about 3/4 of the way through mine. I looked over at hers and I said, "You're drinking slow," so she switched her drinks. So I drank through 3/4 of hers because that was left, and one of our friends said, "I can't finish mine." So I went through another half of one of these things.
30 seconds.
We decided after that we needed food, so we went to the restaurant. One of them did something mildly suggestive, and the next thing I know, I have a burrito halfway down my throat, and I'm not allowed in Taco Bell.
Perfect story. That's what I'm looking for. First time being drunk, raise your hand. First time being drunk, raise your hand in front. Go. 1 minute.
First time, 21st birthday, had to go to the bar, had to kiss a yak head that was on the wall, got a free drink, tall old fashioned. Had 5 beers, 20 Jaeger shots, 5 Jaeger bombs.
Oh my God.
I had to be carried out of the bar during a band, puked on my way out. Was out of my mom's, fucking whatever the car is. Outside, car's beeping because car door's open and the keys are in the ignition. I'm thinking it's Pac-Man, so I'm puking. I'm going, why is Pac-Man?
30 seconds.
Oh God, why? Why, Mom? Why did you do this to me? Why? And I passed out in the car and I don't remember.
Blackout drunk for your first time, idiot. First drink, go. 1 minute.
Okay, I don't remember if it was the first time I was drunk, but it was the first time I found my limit. It was probably a Dixie about this size, and it was a friend at a party called Bucket, and I had what was called a bucket drink. It was the nastiest concoction of everything we could get a hold of. I got through one of them, or maybe it was half, and then that was to the point where I started coming in and out of consciousness. I remember I dropped that drink, got handed another one, continued drinking, ended up on a couch, throwing up into
30
the
seconds.
garbage can, passed out again, woke up some more times, threw up, passed out, ended up crawling in the bed, woke up, no hangover.
Next, who wants to tell us our first time being drunk? 1 minute, go.
All right, show up at a friend's house party because I've never done it before. Go there. Friends drinking vodka. All right, it's a good time. Juice vodka, drink it. At this point, I think Fleshman's tastes good straight because I've never done it before. It was a bad idea. I wound up getting carried back by my friends because I drank too much and didn't know what I was doing. Remember waving at a cop distinctly as he's like, hey, he's having a good time. Was not 21.
30 seconds.
Couldn't slide my key card through the card back. They just let there, laughed at me. I laughed at myself. Wake up in a pile of Wendy's the next day. Wake up in a pile of Wendy's. I like that. All right, first time being drunk. Who's got in the audience? Go. 1 minute.
All right, super fast. All right. So it's pretty much the story of the most unluckiest man in the world. Pretty much I'm having a drink with a bunch of friends. There were, a bunch of army buddies. They just came back, and it was all good times. I'm like, all right, we're gonna mix a bunch of drinks. All right, here we go. Oh, we're gonna play Game Kings. Oh, cool. All right, bad luck. Waterfall. Another waterfall. Another waterfall. Oh look, I lost. I got drinks King's Cup. Bam on the floor. I wake up, I am upstairs, someone's trying to dry bath water for me, and it's pretty much like chanting, being like, you're gonna be okay, and I'm like, I'm out, I'm gone. I'm up the next morning.
I was there, it's true.
He was there.
First drink! I'm sorry, first time being drunk, go!
Okay, so...
1 minute.
Honestly, first time I drank anything, it was boring, but I found my limit once. We were partying with some friends, we did a thing called Pirate Night, we all dressed up as pirates, went out to drink. They're weird, it's fine, but one of my friends, she's German, she can drink pretty much 5 other people under the table and still be fine. So her and her husband are ordering us shots, and after like the first 2, I was like, maybe I should stop, and then they're like, no, have another shot. So I had
30 seconds.
5 shots, 10 shots. We get back to the hotel room. Her husband's throwing up in the bathroom. 2 of our friends are making out in the closet. I start crying because I don't know where anybody is because I'm in the regular room. And I just take my clothes off and crawl on the bed, crying, and I have no idea what's going on. Everybody's just laughing at me, and I wake up the next day like, what happened?
10
seconds. Why am I naked? That's it.
What the fuck? All right, last few. Who else wants to know some first time being drunk? Standing in the back, go. 1 minute, go.
First time I got drunk, 16 years old, at my friend's house, blacked out, went into the bathroom, got all of the towels, draped them over myself, walked out, went, I'm the towel monster from Mars. I'm the towel, trip, fall over, throw up.
Trip, fall over, throw up. Perfect. First time being drunk. First time being drunk all the way in the back, yellow shirt. 1 minute, go.
Age 15, my cousin's wedding, tried Zima, didn't do anything. Oh God. And went to rum and coke, 10, 12, 20 of them. Ended up passing out under the table. Don't remember waking up.
That is exactly how most people had their first blackout experience. First time being drunk, front row, go! 1 minute!
Actually, my worst blackout. It was a New Year's Eve. My friends and I pre-gamed at their apartment, and there was weed involved. I remember ordering a beer, watching the countdown to midnight. And the next thing I knew, it was after 2 a.m., the bar was closed, and my friends were gone.
Oh! Bad friends. Bad friends. First time being drunk, Dustin, go!
So, quick backstory, my grandfather used to work for Don Q, he was from Puerto Rico. So, in my house we always had a bar, but my dad always developed one, had one built. He was a Chicago police officer, retired now, thankfully. It's okay. So he has me come down with him, we had a long day, I'm having a couple drinks with them. I'm 16. We're drinking, he's telling stories, telling me about his day, whatever. And I'm pretty shit-faced at this point, to which he politely leans over and goes, you're drinking Don Q, right? And my dad's like, thank your grandfather for that. Kills the lights and goes to bed.
I think I have one.
You have one?
I'm channeling the future. I see myself through the clouds at your house. I've got you, Xander, Miko, Mackie, and possibly John standing around me as I'm drooling on the table saying, let's do a live dragon show.
Oh, I remember that night.
Is this the drunk cast?
Yes, it is the drunk cast. If you guys want to look for it, they recorded the drunk cast, which we decided not to publish.
Which one is it?
I don't know.
There are two on.
I
Is
was
this the one
drunk.
where, is this one where Rico decided to own the tree in the backyard?
Do you got the worst one?
I have my okay.
Love that.
My real the first true drunk experience that I actually want to talk about.
Go ahead.
So my now husband and I went out drinking with his coworkers to a concert. We had to get a table that cost $200 of drinks and food. We order a lot of fried food, and then we start drinking. Lots of shots of Jameson, lots of shots of Patron. I'm not feeling any of it because we ate a lot of fried food beforehand. The concert ends. I'm feeling okay, a little buzzed. We're leaving. We're walking to the train. It all hits me at once.
And thus starts the train ride from hell.
We get maybe 4 stops up on the train. The train is starting to make me nauseous just because of the movement of the train. I get off, I puke in the trash can, wait a few minutes, we get back on the train, go up another stop, I puke in the next stop trash can. We decide, you know what? Or he decides, you know what, I'll go get you some water. He gives me a bottle of water, we wait a few minutes. It's like, all right, let's just take a cab back home. It's only, a few more blocks. We take the cab. I don't puke in the cab.
Yay!
We are literally right outside the front door of the entrance to the apartment complex. And I puke on the street.
Because the cab made him nauseous enough to where once he got out of the cab left, then he puked.
Yep.
But then you got upstairs.
Oh, right. And then we get into the apartment and I'm puking for another hour.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman sitting over here, who's a Chicago cop, that chose not to tell a story. It wasn't his first time being drunk. Because this motherfucker over here, when we were 16, came over to my house. He was sitting in the basement with me, and we were drinking straight, I don't know, rubbing alcohol? And this gentleman, what's up? It was Stoli, wasn't it? It was Stoli. Yeah, I don't usually call it Stoli. Stoli is rubbing alcohol. Look, I didn't always have money, so we bought what we could. Fuck you. Oh my God. So
No.
Do it.
I have to run a con. No, they're right. I have to run a con. They're right.
Well, I have other reasons arguing not to do that, especially after.
Right.
It's called Libby.
It's called Libby. So this motherfucker went to my basement stairs. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's not go that far. We're sitting there.
You missed the step.
Yeah, John said, what we should do is all drink water.
Yeah,
And
but
we
wait,
did
no,
that.
hold on, but you forgot the best part.
What?
It was Good Friday.
Oh, shit! Oh, I totally forgot that. So we're sitting in my basement on Good Friday. And we are drunk as fuck. And this caused a tradition because it happened 3 times. So Good Friday, we still get together and drink. He walks over to the bar. You're in. He walks over to the bar as John says, we should all drink water. He takes a bottle of water, swigs it, and spits it all over everything. He goes, that's not water, this is water. Grabs the bottle of vodka and just goes, wee. And we all said, he's probably right, it's clear. 5 minutes later, he's at the landing of my basement stairs. My parents' one rule is if you're in the basement, we can't hear you until it's too loud, so just don't get too loud, and that's fine. He goes to my basement stairs and says, you know what? It's time Dan's parents knew he was a faggot. And 6 of my friends tackled tackled him on the stairs, dragged him back into the basement where he did the toast that we to this day do every Good Friday. Mike, would you do it with me now?
Let me get ready.
On Good Friday at 10 p.m., which is when he did it, we say, to Jeebus! To Jeebus! And for some reason, that's a tradition. We're gonna go for. We're gonna have a few more stories about him after the rest of the panelists go. You got a story?
Yeah, I do.
Go for it.
See, I was 13, it was New Year's Eve, I was over at my best friend's house, and his parents left for the night because they were going off to another party, but they said, okay, you two have fun. We left 2 bottles of champagne in the fridge. We figure you 2 are 13, you can be responsible. Yes, exactly. So after the second bottle of champagne, we thought that was not enough. And we then found the secret liquor cabinet with all the cooking liquor.
Oh, cooking liquor?
Yeah. And the 40 ounce of Bud, and we drank that too. And all I remember is we were drunk in the basement. We were still drinking the last bit of champagne, and I passed out. And then the next morning, we were both kind of hungover, but I looked down because he had a bunk bed. I was in the top bunk, he was in the bottom bunk. I look down, and all I'm hearing is his dad yelling at him. And I look down, and there is a trail of puke going towards the bathroom. Because he had tried to make it towards the bathroom, did not make it, but also made it to the bathroom at that point to puke all over the bathroom. And then he decided, well, after he helped clean it all up, we decided to leave the house because his parents were still very pissed off. So we're just going to get away from them for a little bit. So I said, well, let's go to my house. But my house is also where my parents threw their New Year's party, and they left the bar out. So it was like, hey, we just drank all this. There's another bar right here. Let's go drinking some more. And we started having more, because they actually had like a tapped keg just sitting there. Along with, well, we didn't touch that though, because there was a bottle of Rumplemans. It's like, oh, that smells minty. That's like a breath freshener. We should just have that. But it's over 100 proof, and yeah, that's to that. After I had such a nasty hangover, like the second day going back to school with a hangover when you're 13, not so much fun. I swore off alcohol until I was 21. Like, that was horrible. Why do people do this? Yes.
I want you to go next, but he's about to go to bed, and there's one more story to tell about the cop. Thank you. Guys, we're going to tell one more story about the cop before he goes to bed. This gentleman was the best man, legitimately, because my friend came up to me one day, he's like, it was a really hard choice, thinking between you and Mike as the best man. I need you to understand something. If he's the best man, I might survive my bachelor party. And there were other reasons. Quite frankly, he's not as much of a nerd as me. He's going to throw a better party. Well done. So there we are at the bachelor party. Oh, God. You rented out the back of a bar. It had a pool table, it had chairs, and had an open bar, everything. Hard liquor, wine, beer, everything. This gentleman did a very good job. Until it came time to get the groom drunk. Because this gentleman knew he had to pay for everything, knew he had to keep control of us, and knowing, as he told me later, Alkali, he used my real name, Alkali, you were here, you were going to make everybody black out, so I needed to be cognizant. And I respect that now, but at the time I was furious.
Oh, I got in trouble for that.
Because this motherfucker did water shots while the groom did normal shots.
I had the wallet.
He did. He had a reason. Yes. He had a reason. I give him credit now. We didn't at the time.
No.
And we're going to skip ahead in the story to when the groom found out. Because the groom found out and was so drunk that his only response was, I can't believe you would do that to me, and slapped him about that hard. And our friend Steve, who you saw helping out at the con, goes, dude, that's assaulting a police officer. And John, without missing a beat, said, "That's not assaulting a police officer. This is assaulting a police officer." If he had closed his fist, this fucker would have been down. He wound up. His mouth went, "Oh no!" He floored him with an open hand. The entire room went totally silent. The next line that was said was, "Is he armed?" This motherfucker got decked. And to this day, when we want John to drink, when he sits down with us, his first question is, "What's he drinking? That faggot drinking some water? Sorry, Dan." So, Mike, to being responsible and retarded. Yeah. Guys, this is Officer Mike. He is one fuck of an individual. Thank you very much for it. Mike and his wonderful wife, who could actually keep up with me for at least an hour of drinking, are going to go to bed. You guys, good night. Thank you very much. You
Keep up with these before you go to bed.
go to bed. I need you tomorrow.
Next year we expect a mead pass.
Does anyone else here have a story?
All right.
Nico, Jake, do you have a story?
A panel on mead. We expect one from you.
Oh,
Next
yeah,
year.
there you go.
Ooh, yeah.
Does anyone in the panel have a story that they want to tell?
Oh, I mean,
Nico, go.
I mean, I've been hearing a lot of stories, but I actually haven't heard anything about any other furries, and we're at a fur convention.
It's true.
My first time really getting drunk was with furries.
No way.
That was the point.
And you trusted them.
Okay, let me preface this. I was 19.
Yeah.
Hormones are high.
Does this taste like roofies to you? Use it for other things.
So I have had, you know, a couple of drinks here and there. Like I've had some Irish cream at like, you know, holiday party, or I've had like some wine or champagne at a wedding. Whatever, like I got a little buzz, whatever. This was the first time I got really drunk, and I had other intentions in mind. And so did they. So you guys think Risk is a terrible game to play because it's absolutely boring as shit and it's completely up to chance unless you're unlucky like me, in which case you just lose. We are playing Drinking Strip Risk.
What?
What?
Pray tell.
Guys, we have the panel for next year.
I wouldn't know these rules, so...
I think it's getting naked.
The rules essentially were every time you lose a piece of clothing, which is every time you lost a country, you get a drink. Now, and we were not expensive, we were not fancy. None of us exactly know what we were doing. They should have, they were older than me. But,
how much older?
Let's see, I was 19. That would have put one of them at actually 21 and the other one at 23.
Okay, that's not bad. Not bad.
Right, so not super terrible.
Not super
And I absolutely lost. I tried to play the, like, I'm an absolute faggot twink boy at the time. I used to be a lot smaller, about 30 pounds lighter.
Sorry about that.
You're
It's
kind of a
mostly,
twink boy,
it's
honey.
mostly muscle now, come on.
And cheese balls.
Yeah,
Let him
no,
go, let him go,
but
let him
I had like I had arm warmers, I had a scarf, I had socks. I was gonna win this, and I fucking lost everything except the scarf. Everything except the scarf. And we're all nerds, so like we're like, okay, we're all pretty buzzed at that point. I don't know how we're just buzzed, and we go downstairs. We're like, we'll play some video games. Let's play Drinking Smash.
Oh,
so like who wants at the time, Brawl or the first one for the Wii?
That's Brawl.
Yeah, Brawl. So that was the one. I'd never played that before. I lost every one of those games. So after we had finished all the vodka and soda upstairs, it was absolute, so it wasn't, you know, bad vodka necessarily. I later found my love of rum as I started drinking just sips out of the bottle of Captain Morgan.
Oh my god.
I'm not entirely sure what happened shortly after that. I didn't wake up sore at all, but for some reason there was a hole in the wall, and there was a pair of roller skates sitting on the roof. That's all I know from that night. I'm rooming with one of those guys. I don't know what happened.
Jake, you have a minute. Finish your give us.
Mine will only take a minute. You know Fear, right? Who here knows Fear?
I know Fear.
12 feet tall. Yeah. Okay. So I was at MFF 2013 playing Dragonstorm with some other folks, and they decided to have like a really like kinky version of the game, and I was a little less out and fun than I am now. And I decided that I was going to drink this bottle of Two Gingers whiskey that I had brought with me. And about 2 hours into the game, I realized I had drank the entire bottle. And then Fear came in and was like, "Hey Ara, what's up?" And I said, "Hey, you want to go like for a walk?" And so I somehow convinced him to get up onto my shoulders, and I ran around the you know, at MFF that's got that big outside area. In the gaming.
Yes.
Around the edge with him up on my shoulders. He's 8 feet tall, and he's just kind of like leaning over like, So I almost killed one of my better friends by running around. Not so much drunk. I remember the whole thing, but I had a full bottle of whiskey in me. And I was very energetic. Anything mixed with Coke is instant power. So.
And then you found rum.
All right.
Right, I was just saying.
And I fell asleep completely fine. Woke up the next morning.
All right, so here's how we're going to finish this off. We're going to have a little bit more audience participation, but we're going to end this panel soon. You said you had another story?
I do have another story, and this isn't most of the people here are old enough that it's not going to be important to them. But I still want to tell this. This is my first time that I got way too drunk and ended up puking most of the night, passing out in the bathroom. This was soon after I had been broken up with a boyfriend. This is the first time that I had gotten that drunk. This was soon after the invention of delivery food on the internet. No, it wasn't food or pizza. This was like a terrible. It was really good. Terrible, like super greasy burger with tons of fries and all that. I ordered that online. It was super late, so like I was already a quarter of the way through the bottle by the time it got there. So I had a bottle of Smirnoff Vanilla and a two liters of Diet Coke and a lot of terrible anime. I drank a quarter of the bottle while waiting for the food to be delivered. And then, while eating food, and then after eating it, drank the rest of the bottle.
Oh, honey.
This was my second year of college.
Did you wake up with diabetes?
Well, probably. But I pretty much drank the entire bottle on my own, mixed with Diet Coke. I didn't feel it because of the food, for the most part. But when it started hitting me, and this is, again, another warning that really fatty foods can block alcohol in your stomach. I didn't feel it for another couple hours later, and then it started hitting me. And this was, college apartments. I had a few roommates, but I didn't want to admit how drunk I was to them, which you should not do. You should not do this. This was a terrible decision on my part, and I'm lucky to be alive because of this.
What did you do?
I was drunk to the point where I was repeatedly throwing up. I locked myself in the bathroom.
Oh no.
And I was probably puking for 3 hours at least. Still awake at that point. I think. I know I passed out for a few hours. and then puke some more. So I'm just going to say that if you are ever in a very depressed state, don't do that.
I can say probably a lot of us here probably have at least one. Like, I broke up with someone and I started drinking.
This wasn't, I started drinking, this was...
Oh, no, not started drinking, but like, I had a few drinks and then it turned into more than
This
I thought
was,
it was.
I drank way too much because I didn't give a fuck.
Don't drink 'cause you're sad. Yeah, don't drink because you're sad. Don't.
Yes.
All right.
So this is 2 warnings. Don't drink because you're depressed. Please don't do that. And if you do drink too much, please let someone you trust know. Because I could have died from that.
Oh yeah, guys. Yeah.
We appreciate alcohol. It's poison.
Yes.
It's good poison.
That being said,
Delicious poison.
we have one more story, but as I go to the bathroom, Nico, could you please lead the group? Here's what we're gonna do.
Oh Lord.
All of us have had a bad drink.
Oh.
Nico, I just want you to pick people in the audience. Here's no flavor whatsoever. What was in the worst drink you ever had? No description, just what was in that drink.
I'm gonna go to the restroom too.
Okay, we're gonna go to the restroom. Nico, could you control the room while I go piss?
I already got a story.
Well, there you go. We'll start right here.
Franzia. Any of it. Worst.
Very
Don't
sorry.
don't buy it.
Zen, since your name tag is so big.
A really shitty Patron that was in a bottle that wasn't even labeled.
Like Patron, absolutely.
Straight bubblegum flavored vodka.
Never. 3 olives, probably.
Tastes like perfume.
Probably 3 olives.
Probably 3 olives.
I had a bunch of different drinks, but it was whatever's in a zombie. Then
Like everything.
Yeah. Then I had a giant cup, like about this big of sake, full.
Yep. And if you get a bad sake, or if you have it chilled when it's not supposed to be, or vice versa, terrible.
Really shitty vodka and Sunny D.
That's a bad screwdriver. Sunny D with anything. Iggy, sorry.
Chambliss, also called Chablis.
Yes. I'm
Smart
sorry.
guy.
We'll have a talk about that.
Sorry?
Jack and grapefruit juice.
Really? I would think it would be okay.
No.
Taupe?
Yeah, that doesn't sound right at all.
Seagram's and warm lemon Gatorade.
What kind of
Were we talking when that happened?
We were.
Okay.
You said it was going to be a bad idea.
I told you
were
it was
right.
going to be a bad idea.
You were
I
right.
warned you.
Because I do not half-ass a Halloween costume. It was Miller High Life and McDonald's coffee.
Were you an undead Hank Hill?
I was a redneck going to a laundromat trying to stay awake.
Undead Hank Hill. Got it.
Tequila that comes in a plastic bottle, and everything I tried to mix it with to make it better.
I don't know if Alkali mentioned it all, but he has had tequila brand tequila that came out of a plastic bottle.
It might have been that.
It might have been that.
Jim Gimlets. Jim Gimlets.
No, Jim Gimlets.
Honey, why?
I didn't know before it was given to me, but Dr. Pepper and apple vodka. It's bizarrely
I'm
like
not
toothpaste.
I'm not sure that I've ever seen an apple vodka. We have apple over here.
But these Rono and root beer taste like cherry cola.
I lost a bet. It was Sailor Jerry's A1 steak sauce and soy sauce.
Interesting.
You lost me on the first one, and then you added worse. Go on.
I've never successfully finished a can of PBR.
Congratulations. You actually deserve an achievement.
I give it a 2. I dumped it all down the sink.
I'm so proud of you guys. I actually can't drink beer that isn't gourmet, which sounds like real shitty, but anyway, go on.
I worked at this little family restaurant. We had beer. My coworkers dared me to do beer, ketchup, celery salt, pepper, flour, and it was in a shake.
Those are not
That is the worst Bloody Mary I've ever heard.
That's a backwater Bloody
Bloody
hell.
Thinking about what that would be.
That's a Bloody Mary.
That's like way too many wrong flavors at once.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking in my head what that would taste like.
I want to see it deep fried
Yeah, but this is Wisconsin. You deep fried.
Okay. Alkali, you got anything?
I had to fix, I'm sorry.
No. I mean, do you have a bad drink?
Oh, bad drink? Absolutely.
The worst drink.
Yeah,
The worst
somebody
drink.
gave me a fucking brain hemorrhage. Do you guys know what that is? No, it is not.
Hold on. I just made one of those alien brain hemorrhages.
You're right, I'm sorry. I did call it the wrong thing. I'm so sorry. You're because they have the same look.
I literally had one just before coming.
No, you're right. No,
Was it
that's the
curdled
worst
rum
looking
chata?
one. I'm sorry?
Was it curdled rum chata?
No. It was the classic cement mix. Yeah, I'm sorry. I did go wrong. Yeah. If you've ever had a bad shot, that's it. Classic cement mixer in your mouth.
It's great for everyone else.
No, that's absolutely fine. My worst one was learning that rum chata actually has some kind of lactose in it, and acidity is a terrible time. Yep, we got chunky.
Is that it? Did everyone go?
Everyone went through here, I think.
My worst recently is, speaking of wines, Vintique. It's made by Hypnotic.
Okay.
It looks like a lava lamp in a bottle.
Oh my God! It just started sounding like
It tastes like someone left their grape drink out for a while, and then they just put it into a bottle.
Vinny is, for people who do not know, Moscato and glitter.
Yes, right. It looks really pretty. I will give you that.
I'm going to add to this. It is Moscato glitter in the cheapest vodka you can find in the liquor store.
Yes, that too. The one that's labeled vodka on a plastic
Do not
bottle,
drink it.
basically.
Get it as a comedic showpiece, but don't drink it.
It looks really pretty. It looks very pretty in the bottle, but it tastes horrible.
Or a party favorite at a wedding for people you do not like.
Yeah. I think we actually did have to cut that with like grape Fanta to make that taste remotely palatable.
Tree
so
decoration.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask everyone if you'd be okay with me telling the last story.
Go ahead.
Guys, there's one thing we haven't talked about because I've noticed that a lot of people that enjoy to drink, there's one other part of drinking. A lot of people like to get high. I was just asked in the bathroom where somebody could get a good puff of weed. Guys, don't ask people wearing this badge where you can get drugs. So we're just going to go into this properly. Some of you know this, some of you don't. I used to have a major problem with drugs and alcohol, and I've stopped over the years, and that is why I can tell these stories. No, there's no reason to fall for that because I'm a terrible person. Guys, I'm going to start the story with this. If you need help, get help, even if it's from a friend. And that's what I needed, and a friend helped me, and now I can do this. The more you know. The more you know.
The more you know, but also, really, just if you need help, if you even think that you need help with some sort of an addiction problem, get help. Even if it's just a friend. Let them know that you think you have a problem.
Now that being said, there is recreational drug use. There is nothing that any of us are going to say that are going to stop you from that. So just be safe about it and enjoy it and come back with stories. So to finish off the night, we're going to tell a story. I've told it before. Some of you might have heard it, some of you might have not. I'm going to tell you the dangers of acid. And this is how I'd like to finish off the night because some of you know him. I have a friend named Trent. Trent is a coworker of mine, and Trent makes me look like an angel. Because one day Trent, who's a stockbroker, who has more money than God, who had a room in his house rebuilt because he really likes video gaming and he wanted his daughters left out. He has everything you can possibly imagine in this room, and it is his room. Trent decided he wanted to try to climb a mountain. So the Friday of work, Trent came in. Trent went to the broker's bathroom, And I found Trent bent over a sink with a slight white tint under his nose. And he looked at me and went, "I'm gonna climb a mountain!" And I said, "Okay!" And then we shared in his vice and went and traded your money, basically. And he was on the phone for half that day, and he got all the equipment needed to climb a mountain. He then got into his car after smelling how white powder assumed he smelled. It's delicious. And drove to a mountain. I have no fucking clue where. We live in Chicago. There are no mountains. He found one. I guarantee you that this wasn't like the mountain to climb. This was more along the lines of some guy has garbage in his backyard. Yeah, there was a hill. He climbed a mountain. Sheer face, because the story wouldn't make sense if he didn't. High off his ass on coke, he drove out to a mountain, grabbed all of the stuff needed to climb a mountain, realized it was too much to carry, and threw it on the ground. Somebody got a bunch of mountain climbing supplies. He then did his first hit of acid. It was, according to him, about 6, 7 o'clock at night. This is the middle of summer, sun sets at about 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
This gentleman walked to the side of the mountain and said, "Hello, mountain. I'm going to climb you." And when the mountain didn't respond, he took his second hit of acid. Now we're going to quick jump over to another story. Who knows what a window pane is? Raise your hand. You're a monster. A window pane is a hit of acid that is supposed to be broke into 4 pieces. That's why they call it a window pane. A window like in your door, 4 pane. If you ever become a true clerk at the Chicago Board of Trade, and this is a decade ago, bear in mind, this doesn't happen anymore.
This isn't especially a thing anymore.
No, not anymore, which is a real shame and really smart. If you ever actually got to the point where, hey, this guy might get a badge one day, this is how they tested you. Because a window pane should be shared by 4 people. And they gave me a full window pane, and this is how they knew that I'd be okay to do their job. I don't remember that weekend, but that is what Trent needed to get high, and that's what he took. The equivalency of 4 hits of acid at once. And he put that. What's up?
You said he took acid twice.
The first time, as far as I know, was just normal acid. The second time, when he realized I'm not high enough, he took a full window pane, which is usually just a trick to play on people. He put it under his tongue, said, "All right, it's time." And he grabbed the mountain, and he started climbing the mountain. And then he climbed this part of the mountain. And as he reached up, and this is true according to him, and I believe him because this isn't the stupidest thing he ever done. As he reached for this knot,